one of the biggest mysteries in my gaming, thought process is why Gran Turismo 6 was not released for the PS4. I feel like this game is absolutely excellent. It's one of my favorite games on the PS3, and I feel like this game could easily be ported over to the PS4. But I'm gonna give you a few reasons why I think that was did not happen. For the most part, Gran Turismo 6 was a game that pushed the PS3 to its limits. I mean, I think it ran at like 1440 by 1080p on the base PS4, and it also ran at a 60 frames per second. It was kind of hit or miss. It wasn't stable, but I feel like on the base PS4 alone, this game could have been a 1080p, full 1080p at 60 frames per second easily. It did not take much of an upgrade from the PS3 to the PS4, to make it happen. The PS4, the base was big. It was a big enough leap to make it happen. And one thing about the game is still beautiful to this day. I still play it on my PS3. And when you look at uh, Gran Turismo Sport and Gran Turismo 7, I firmly believe that this overall is the better game based on value and based on what it brings to the table. Now, I will say this: the driving in Sport and the driving in Gran Turismo 7 is much better than Gran Turismo 6. But what I will say is Gran Turismo 6 give you that old Gran Turismo vibe where it kind of got back to the roots mechanically, back to like Gran Turismo 4 in my opinion. But I do miss the used car lot that has on 7. But let's just get back to Gran Turismo 6. Um, One thing I will say why I believe they did not put the game on PS4. This game has a lot of content. This game has a lot of content. It has a lot of value in it. And if you bought this game, I think you could have bought this game when it was released. I don't think it was even a $60 game. I could be wrong, but I think it was not. I remember buying mine at a discount, this same copy brand new for like 19.99 or something like that. I could be wrong. The game was released like a week or a week and a half after the PS4, and this game has a huge patch in it. I think the patch in this game is, I think it's not just one patch. I think it's like over a series like 18 different patches or something like that. And if you get the full game is 1.22 and it has tons of content in it. And if you was able to download that patch, it takes you hours. It's crazy. But this game has over 1,200 cars in it. It has over 70 plus races. Now, I think that was the case prior to the updates because I think the updates pretty much gave you more cars and gave you more tracks. But I think it gives you 1,200 cars out the gate. It says on the back of this right here of the case. And when you look at that versus Gran Turismo Sport, I can't remember how many cars is in Gran Turismo Sport, but I'm pretty sure it's much less. I think it was somewhere around maybe 300 to 400 cars. Uh, I just felt like it was a situation where it was no way that this game would have been released in a situation where they had to up the they had to up what they did on Gran Turismo 6. Gran Turismo Sport would not have been able to capitalize on give you more cars, give you more content. And they tried to get away with it at one point, but it was a lot of outcry. So Sport kind of went back to Gran Turismo 6 as far as the offline content. And I did a video about that out. You can check that out. I'll put the card up in the description or up here if you want to, look at it or whatever case may be. And what I noticed is that when they put the offline mode back in, we kind of got a glimpse of what Gran Turismo 6 could have been. And if you get that type of gameplay with this type of content that was in this game, it was no way that it could have happened to where I feel that they could have expanded on what Sport and 7 turned out to be. Now you got to understand, Gran Turismo 6 also had a really good they had a really good online component where people actually still raced online. I just feel like at the end of the day, they were not going to be able to top what Gran Turismo 6 did with all the content. They couldn't monetize off the content. They could not have done, they could have expanded off of this if they brought it to the PS4. But based on what they gave you out the gate, this game gave you, in some cases you could probably say they gave you more content than sport and what 7 brings to the table combined. Not to mention that Gran Turismo 7 is basically an online game. They do have a little bit of offline components, but I fear that once that game goes away and the servers go down, I believe that you're going to have a paperweight. You're going to have a coaster where that game can't do anything for you if you try to play the game. This game right here, unfortunately, the game is offline only now. The servers are gone, but there's tons of content you could play playing this game. And I like I said, I still play it to this day. Between this and Gran Turismo Sport, which now have all of its offline components, intact, and you can actually save your stuff. The save is not tied to a server. You can save your stuff on your hard drive. I think that Gran Turismo, or the people at Polyphony Digital, I think I said that right. I think they did us a solid with that because Gran Turismo Sport is a very good game. It's a phenomenal game. I love it. I love it what it brings to the table. But I just felt like with this game, they put so much into this game at the end of the PS3 life cycle, just like Battlefield 4, just like Assassin's Creed, all these other games that was late PS3 releases end up coming over to the PS4. This could have been one of them, but I think I gave you the reasons why they weren't going to do it. It just got to the point where they put so much in here, they basically tried to start over again, and they tried to add an online only component where they basically wanted to keep everything on the game, on everything from the game online, and they wanted to be more of an esports competitive type of deal. At the end of the day, it is what it is. This is where a lot of companies are going at this moment. A lot of companies trying to go that route, and you kind of see where it's going. Where even if you play offline, they're trying to monetize everything as well. Where Gran Turismo Sport was notorious for giving you peanuts for playing the game. Their roulette was literally peanuts. And I think, Gran Turismo 7 got a little bit better, but it's just, to me, they have a little bit more content as far as more, cars or whatever, but it's just not the same. And, at the end of the day, you just have to realize that this is probably the best that it's gotten when it comes to us offline gamers. The frame rate is not the best. If you want the best frame rate, you may want to go down to 720p. The 60 frames per second on 1080p is unstable. Solid 60 frames per second if you play 720p, if that's your thing. If not, I totally understand it, especially in this day and age. Everybody's looking at 4K, or whatever the case may be. And I'm not sure if this game, I'm not sure if this game is actually playable on the PS3 emulator. If it is, oh my God, this game will run at 4K. You have all the content. I'm pretty sure you can find all the updates online as well. This will be absolutely great if you could play this on the PlayStation 3 emulator. I need to check that out just to see, just for just for gaming purposes. I mean, I don't play on emulators, but this will be a fantastic addition to that because you have all the content, and this will blow Sport and 7 out of the water based on content alone. I still think the driving on the other two games are better, but the content, like I said, I think I paid $19.99 for this game, and this was, I mean, the content you get out of here is absolutely awesome. So, with that being said, I think those are my reasons why Gran Turismo 6 was not released on the PS4. It was just too much to give players at the time, and I don't think they could have met or surpassed expectations for the following Gran Turismo Sport games. I just don't think they will be able to do it. But it was just a lot. I mean, Gran Turismo 6 gave you a whole lot, and they could have fixed a lot of things to make the game much more stable and a little bit more like what we got in Sport and 7. If they would have done that, you probably would have had the ultimate online. The ultimate offline racing game on consoles. I love what Forza 7 done. They gave you all the content. Forza 4. Well, I think one thing I will say, and I'm gonna get out of here before I say this. One thing I can say about between Forza 4 and Forza 7, they gave you a chance to get all of the content that was in the game before they took their stuff offline. Before the stuff was delisted or licensing agreements were gone, they gave you a chance to get everything. And I'm not sure that that's going to be the case with Gran Turismo 7 because the way that game is tied in, and Gran Turismo Sport wasn't the case because you there's some things on that game you can't use. In Gran Turismo 6, the servers are off, but they gave you all the stuff through updates. And this was that's the way to do it. When it comes to games that are going away and not attached online, you give the people, give the community what they want. Give the community the chance to get everything that they can get. And I will give Forza that give them that praise because they've done that. But I'm gonna get out of here. If you haven't already, if you have a PS3, this one game you should get. It's probably like the most content filled Gran Turismo. Maybe Gran Turismo 4. I'm not sure, but I think this is it. So let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a good one. Peace.